there! Can you believe it's already time for another Project Pan update? I feel like the month went really quickly, but here we are. I have 8 products that I want to share my progress with you. And if you're not sure what a Project Pan is, it's just products that I am focusing on for one reason or another. I want to finish them. And for me, mostly these are older products or products that I think are going to take a long time to go through. And so I want to focus on them now to make sure that they get finished before they expire. I do have an eyeshadow quad as part of this Project Pan, and so it's kind of like my version of a Pan That palette, but just on a smaller scale. I'm trying to pan this eyeshadow quad from Tilbury. It's the Pillow Talk Quad, and last month my goal was to focus on the dark brown shade. It's a matte shade, and it's the one that's the least used, and I think it's going to take me the longest to actually finish. So I wanted to focus on that one, and then I also wanted to hit pan on one of the satin shades. It was really close to pan already, and I just kind of threw it in there because I knew it was something that I could easily do over the next month. And I was able to hit my goal on both. I will show you a picture of how many uses I used each shade, and then I will show you a comparison of next to each other of 1 month ago versus now, so you can kind of see how the shades have changed a little bit over time. It's only been a month, so there's not going to be any drastic changes, but you can see I did hit pan on the shade I wanted to hit pan on. Because I did so well on the 2 goals that I had made for myself last month, I kind of want to up the ante a little bit, and now I want to try to hit pan on that brown shade again. I still do want to focus on that shade because I think it's the one that's going to take the longest to go through. And trying to hit pan on it in the next month I think will be a challenge, but it's something I'm definitely up for, and I do think I can do it. I have been loving reaching for this shade. Even today, I'm wearing it all over my lid, in my crease, and on my lower lash line just as one shadow. So that'll be what I do. Of course, I just want to reach for this palette as much as I can with the intention of eventually finishing it, but that one shade, that brown, is going to be my main focus again. Over the past month, I've gone through 0.43 grams, so just under half a gram. I feel like that's pretty good, and I still feel that I'm on the course to have it done definitely by the end of the year. The next one is arguably one of my oldest products in my collection. It's one of the shades from my Film Star Bronze and Duo, again from Tilbury. I have finished the bronzer up long ago, and I had pan on the highlighter, and now I would like to finish the highlighter completely. Over the past month, I've gone through 0.56 grams, so just over a gram, half of a gram, and that's really great. I did reach for this quite a bit. I really like it. I'm wearing it today, and going back and wearing it after not having worn it for so long, I still really like the formula. This was a favorite for a long time, and I still like it for all the same reasons, even if I don't really wear a ton of powder highlighter as much as I used to. I am slowly expanding the pan. That is the continued goal. And yeah, I feel like the sides were a lot higher last month than they are now. So there is some changes happening. The next one, I'm surprised I have not hit pan on yet. It's the Milani Luminoso blush. I flattened this out at the end of last year. I've been working on this for a long time. And total, I have worn this blush 167 times. And so for me to have not hit pan on it yet, I'm really surprised. There's definitely quite a dip in the product. And so I do still feel confident that I can have pan on it next month. But with how many times it's surprised me that I haven't hit pan on it yet, I actually don't know. I'm hoping, I'm optimistic, but there is a chance that I won't have pan on it yet. But I'm still loving it. I'm wearing it today again. Pretty much, yeah, all the products I have in my Project Pan I'm wearing today, and I love it. I love this color. It also pairs really nicely with other blushes. Anyway, I've gone through 0.37 grams, and that's exciting. That's a lot of blush to be going through in a month, but like I said, I reach for this every time I wear my makeup. Even if I am pairing with other blushes, I'm still reaching for it, and it's beautiful. This is also one of my oldest products in my collection, and it still works just as well as it did back then. The next one, I'm surprised by the numbers. It's the Nabla Ombre Bronzer, and yes, this is my only bronzer that I reach for all the time, and I went through 0.92 grams. I went through almost an entire gram of this in a month, which is very surprising because I don't feel like I wear a ton of bronzer. I certainly don't wear as much as I used to. So for me to have gone through, there's 6.5 grams in here, so gone through like a sixth of the product in a month's time, And you can definitely see in the before and after pictures that I'm wearing away at that waffle pattern underneath. The majority of the product is just in those 4 corners. So whenever I use my brush and dip in there, I do try to reach for like at least the top half or the bottom half to start pulling product from those corners. I'm gonna say 2 months on this. I'm gonna say this will be done in 2 months if I still focus on it as my main bronzer. This next one, oh my goodness. The Maracava highlighter. I've been using this twice every time I do my makeup. I'll explain that in a second, but quickly, I've gone through 1.4 grams of this. If you were watching my Partners in Cream project pan last year, you'll know I was going through the Cocoa Kind stick highlighter. That one has a completely different formula, and as a result, I went through it so slowly. So I feel like I'm going at like rapid fire pace through this. There's still a ton of product left. It's not like I'm being wasteful, but I use it twice, like I said. First, I'll swipe it on my cheekbones and right above my brow bone as a moisturizing highlighting primer. And then I'll take a little bit of it off with the back of my fingernail and I'll put it on the back of my hand and mix it with a liquid lipstick that I'm trying to finish, and I make that a cream blush. So technically I use it twice every time I do my makeup, and that's why I'm going through it so fast. I don't mind how quickly I'm going through it though, because this is something that I put in the project pan because the scent has slightly changed. Not to the point that I think it's expired. I still feel perfectly fine applying this to my face, but I don't know how much longer it will last. So of course I want to try to reach for it as much as I can before that happens. If I can finish it before that point, that would be fantastic. So yeah, I'm doing way better on this than I thought I would, especially considering how slowly I've gone through other stick highlighters in the past. This next one is a setting spray from ColourPop. It's the No Filter Setting Mist, and I don't reach for this every single time I need setting spray. Sometimes I like something more mattifying or something that's gonna help my makeup last longer, but I do use this as like my everyday makeup mist whenever I don't need to worry about my makeup lasting like 12 hours. It's not my favorite setting spray. I'm kind of just working through it to finish it, and I have made pretty decent progress. I had mentioned in my last update that I hate that there's like powder settling in the bottom of the product, and someone mentioned that if you like let it settle, pour it into another bottle, and then rinse out the powder stuff and then put it back in the bottle, then you can get rid of it, and that's a fantastic idea. That's what I'm gonna do after this update. Thank you for that suggestion. I don't know why I didn't think of that myself. Definitely going to make the process of applying this a lot better, because I always felt weird about just having that be at the bottom when I used it, so I'd always have to like shake it really aggressively to work it back into the spray, but now I can just take it out altogether. That will likely affect the weight changes as well, but that's fine. I've gone through 8 grams, just over 8 grams of product. There is like 110 mils in here, so that's not really like a huge amount, even though it is much more than all the other products pretty much combined in this project pan. 2 products left. One of them is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer, and I use 2 pumps of this, by the way. I put 2 pumps of it in my, like the top part of my fingers here, rub it together, and then very quickly rub it into my skin. I pretty much put it everywhere, and then I let it dry fully before I put on my next layer of products. And that's very important. I think one of the reasons I didn't care for this at first is because I was putting on way too much, because I thought I needed more product to like fully cover my face. And then I was trying to put other products on top of it before allowing it to fully dry and set. And that was kind of making things look patchy and making my face feel sticky and made it feel really heavy. But again, someone gave me a really great tip saying, let it dry fully, let it set before you put it on. And I really like it now. It's not like my absolute favorite. I'm not heartbroken that it's discontinued. And once I go through it, I likely wouldn't buy another like sticky gripping primer, because I just don't really feel like that's necessary for how my skin reacts to makeup. Like I don't feel like I need something to like absolutely grab onto the makeup and hold on to it all day. Like I use setting sprays and powders for that. I don't need a primer to do that too. So I've gone through 4.82 grams, much more than I thought I would. But again, I just have been trying to make a more concerted effort to reach for this, and it's paying off. The product, the packaging is getting really, really thin, and it is an airless pump. Like it feels like it's going to eventually pull all the product out on its own. I don't think I'll have to cut through the product. And because it is so sticky, I probably won't do that anyway. So once I can't pump any more out, I will consider it done. And yeah, I'm gonna say 2 more months and this will be gone. The last one's a long haul product, but that's perfectly fine. I really enjoy using it, but it's something that I use so little of every time that it's gonna take me forever to actually finish. So I wanna remember to reach for it more. And that's the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. I have light to medium, and over the past month, I've gone through 0.76 grams. The way I apply this is I really only squeeze out the product maybe once a week, and then whatever I have left on the sponge, I'll put a little bit right under each cheekbone, a little bit right under the chin on the side, tiny little bit, like very little amounts of product everywhere, on my temples, and then one on my nose. The packaging for this is also getting quite thin, and I was surprised to see how many times I've actually reached for this. Like over the course of its lifetime, I've reached for it 76 times, which is more than I would think whenever I think of this product. So that's exciting. Over the course of the past month, I've gone through 17.37 grams, and that's fantastic. These are all products I like for one reason or another. Some of them I love and they're favorites, and so being able to reach for them more has been a joy. I don't hate pan. I don't go out of my way to pan things that I don't like or that are gonna make my makeup look worse. That's really not the point for me. However, if you'd like to see me make progress on other products in my collection, I am going to do an everyday makeup drawer every 6 to 8 weeks. I did put one up already, and I'll probably put up another one in like a month. And I have a lot of like shorter term projects in those videos where I show you like, oh, this one's almost empty, and then it'll hopefully likely be empty next. So just because I'm focusing on these 8 products doesn't mean those are the only products I'm gonna be using up over the course of the month. I actually think this is gonna be one of my biggest panning years just because of how things are shaking out. A lot of my products are like almost finished or getting to the point where they're old enough that I want to work them out before they go bad. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my update. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.